Welcome to a simplified guide to all 3 Sanctum of Rebirth bosses to use for learning and or recap purposes. The Sanctum of Rebirth is unlocked after completing the quest called Soul Searching. Vermyx is the first boss you'll encounter in this triple boss dungeon. The boss's health pool can only be damaged by attacking the main head in the center. The additional heads that spawn throughout the fight increase the damage your character takes by 15%, but are not mandatory to kill and take out the boss. The boss is killed in the following order. Damage the boss for 1/4 of its life points in the center. Its life points are then capped by 1/4 of its total life until you've dealt with the soul redirection mechanic. This will always be the western part of the arena for this part of the fight. Positioning for the soul redirection mechanic is straightforward. Simply stand in the spots marked by the green arrows until the soul hits you and bounces off. In solos, you're going to need to do this 3 times. This process becomes much easier if you stop attacking, turn off auto retaliate, and adjust your game view camera to an overhead angle. Regardless of if you complete or fail soul redirection, the coil head will deal massive damage on that side of the arena using its vomit attack, indicated by this large telegraphing animation. Avoid it by using mobility abilities such as dive and surge. Failure to complete this soul redirection mechanic will result in you having to repeat that side of the arena until you've hit the required amount to clear it. Successfully redirecting all the required souls will open up Vermyx's health pool in the center for another 1/4 of its total life points. Upon reaching half HP, you will have to redirect souls on the eastern side of the arena. Successfully redirecting the souls will open up the remaining 50% of Vermyx's health pool. Throughout the fight, the boss has 3 main mechanics to watch out for based on voice lines. Unfortunately, the boss dungeon doesn't actually have voice lines yet, so you need to pay attention to the boss or your chat box. Snarl indicates the Moonstone Spike mechanic. You avoid this by sidestepping once or running around once you're targeted. You'll encounter this mechanic starting from phase 1. Heal indicates the healing scarab spawn. This scarab becomes attackable after using a stunning ability on it, such as Soul Strike, Binding Shot, or Impact with magic. Make sure you kill it if your DPS is too low to kill the boss before the scarab fully charges, as it will otherwise heal the boss for 20,000 life points. Kree is only encountered if you're not quick enough to kill the boss. This attack is a large bomb that comes down from above. Try to reflect, resonance, or disruption shield it to reduce the damage. It's worth noting that if you take your sweet time to take out the boss, the other heads will start vomiting as well. Kezalam is the second boss you'll encounter in this triple boss dungeon. This boss has a large variety of area of effect attacks that are telegraphed on the arena before the hit. Avoiding these can be done by sidestepping or using mobility abilities such as dive, escape, and surge. A more difficult mechanic to deal with is the Moonstone Prism mechanic. A blue bar will quickly start charging above your character's head before stunning you and binding you in place. You must then use freedom and attack the Moonstone crystals to escape the orb coming down from above. Failing to do so will result in massive damage taken. Alternative ways of dealing with this mechanic include using the Reflect ability. Doubling your health and therefore damage with a power burst of vitality while doing this is also an effective tactic. The Resonance ability isn't recommended due to the fact that the boss can and probably will snipe it. Kezalam's health pool is available for damage constantly up until you phase the boss. Each phase is separated by 1/3 of its total life points, at which point the boss becomes immune. You're then required to destroy 1 obelisk, aka pillar, which will heal Kezalam as you're doing it. With necromancy, using the invoke death incantation can prove to be useful to speed up this process. Failing to destroy the obelisk before the blue bar fills will have you meet a dangerous pulsing wave attack. You can deal with this pulsing wave attack using Divert, Reflect, and or Resonance. These obelisks will also cause Kezalam to spawn 2 exploding scarabs per obelisk, which you have to finish off using abilities that stun targets like Soul Strike, Binding Shot, and again for magic, Impact. Failing to kill these scarabs before their bar charges will result in explosion hits that could take you out. After finishing off both obelisks, you'll have access to the final 1/3 of the boss's health pool. Nakatra is the 3rd and final Sanctum of Rebirth boss. This boss, similar to the second one, possesses many telegraph attacks. I will categorize these in 3 types, namely fire explosions in the form of a grid, fire waves in diagonal or straight lines, and the fire wave in a square extending outwards. The diagonal and straight fire waves are the only telegraph attacks that you can reduce by using defensives or the protect and deflect magic prayer. The fire grid explosion and the square fire waves will clap you without consent. The fire explosions will hit you instantly upon charging, which happens even faster in hard mode. Unique to this telegraph mechanic is that you're able to predict the upcoming attack by paying attention to the glyphs, aka symbols, on the west and eastern side of the arena. These, when flipped onto the arena, indicate the upcoming safe spots for your character. These symbols will also glow as the fire explosion charges. Here's an example of what these safe spots would look like based on the symbol glowing. Here's another example of what these safe spots would look like based on the exact same symbol glowing, except on the eastern side. Successfully dodging the fire explosion grid resets the cooldown of your movement abilities, allowing you to quickly use them for another grid if needed. An easy way to avoid the square fire wave that extends outwards is running out and then using the escape ability to go back in. For the next round, you can run out and then use dive. Regardless of the phase you're in, if your DPS is lacking by the boss's preset timer, the boss will summon both a healing and exploding scarab. These scarabs must be dealt with and killed using stun abilities. If not, the boss will heal 20,000 life points for the healing scarab, or hit you with an explosion if the explosion scarab is left alive. As mentioned previously, the boss unfortunately doesn't have audio cues just yet, so you need to pay attention to the boss or your chat box. One mechanic that will catch you off guard if you aren't paying attention to the boss is the prepare for death, be obliterated attack. This attack changes the colors of the boss arena before smacking you with a large magic hit, or 3 times in hard mode. You can reduce damage by protecting against magic and using defensives such as Reflect and Devotion. In normal mode, mastering this simple yet swift mechanic will reward you with a free heal if you're using the Resonance ability. Upon reaching the last third of the boss's life points, you'll enter phase 3, at which point 2 or more in groups nifty minions will spawn. These will juice up the boss's damage by giving her soul corruption stacks if they reach a full blue adrenaline bar. You can distract this charging process and delete its bar by moving into close proximity to interrupt it. It's possible to stop both of them from charging up Nakatra, although this is quite tricky to do while juggling abilities and moving around. It's recommended to use vulnerability bombs and the invoke death incantation to take them out quickly. Depending on your speed and DPS, you'll be dragged into the Shadow Realm at least once throughout the fight after the Nifties. Perform the following 3 steps to get back into the boss fight within 30 seconds or risk being instant killed even in normal mode with additional lives left. Release the Purple Storm by clicking on it, kill the 2 felines that spawn, and then click all 3 soul fragments to return to the boss. While doing this, you're able to reduce damage from the gorillas by protecting against melee, and something more important, please make sure you pay attention to the 2 glyphs or symbols to the north. Remember these symbols before clicking the 3rd soul fragment to get back into the fight, as once you get back, you need to stand anywhere on the symbol that is missing. If not, you'll get your ass handed to you. Personally, I found that verbally repeating the symbols makes this easier. After this, you need to deal as much damage as possible while avoiding all kinds of telegraph attacks to take out the boss. Best of luck on getting those expensive rare drops, and don't forget to have fun.